네, 뭐예요? 그 영어 강의 관련해서 여러분 수업 평가하시잖아요. 근데 여러분 수업 평가를 해가지고 그 영어 강의로 뭐 인정을 할 것인가 말 것인가 뭐 관련해서 여러분들이 평가를 그렇게 해줘야 그 영어 강의 같은데 뭐 영어 강의가 되면은 우리 국가대학 차원에서 좋으니까 수업에 꼭 참여하도록 하셔요. 그리고 이제 시험은 지금 내 시간을 알아보니까 아직 발표를 안 했어요. 근데 내가 80분 시험으로 시간을 배정해달라고 이렇게 했으니까 아마 내일쯤 늦으면은 모레 아직 일찍 내일쯤 발표한다니까 시험 시간하고 장소는 우리 법과대학 발표 할 때 확인하시면 되겠습니다. 이제 오늘이 아무래도 이번 마지막 시간인 것 같아요. 목요일날 수업은 내가 또 올려놓을 테니까 다시 한번 들어보시기 바랍니다. 오케이. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, this will be the last class in this term, and I'd like to recall on your participation what you'll soon be required to complete class evaluation. So, I encourage to respond with that evaluation, and please specify that this class has been conducted in English. The main administration imposed some condition that the class can be regarded as in terms of public records and also some school policy, some response, which is a prerequisite to endorse it as kind of English-based instruction. So I encourage you to take a moment and complete the class evaluation. So it depends on your discretion. But it is general policy to inform that context, since the school administration has concerns and interest. Okay, and as announced in Korean, the exam schedule is now being prepared by the college. Yet still not to be announced publicly, as it will be soon, perhaps tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So it is your responsibility to confirm the time and place of exam. It will be 80 minutes exam, and the mode of exam will be available in my personal website. I posted some of past exams, papers and questions, so the context would be same. So consider to review that past exam in your preparation. That would, of course, not the same in content, and the kind of questions will, of course, not be the same. And I developed another question, but the mode and the fashion of exam and exam administration can be available. So, and also in this last class, I'd like to provide some overview of criminal justice system in the United States. And I prepared 2 pages in covering the basics of a criminal law in the United States. You will see, for example, a state of mind, and in box form, the common law and empathy rules standards have been summarized. And so, what is specific intent, general intent, malice, strict liability, and empathy 4 standards have 4 elements, often considered in principle to cover a scope of a criminal mind or culpability, purposely, knowingly, recklessly, negligent. What is purpose? Knowing. What is knowing? And what is reckless? As I've instructed, the criminal justice system in the United States is dealt principally by a state government. Of course, we have some piecemeal of a federal statute dealing with crimes, but in case where the federal interest would be present, and you also know the kind of institution or Federal Bureau of Investigation or others. And I have once illustrated the kind of federal response to expedite the federal purpose, anti-terrorism, the kind of a effective reaction against terrorist crimes and others. In that case, the kind of a fundamental concept of human rights, for example, habeas corpus proceeding, and many procedural requirements long implemented in the liberal constitution have been passed in the purpose of the case. Nevertheless, it is still true that the state government is the principal authority to administer criminal justice. For example, you will see in the past course the state budget of correctional facilities, the kind of a prison system, and federal criminals have been transferred and actually put to detention in what is the Guantanamo Bay concentrated detention camps. Have you ever heard of that camp? It is the kind of justice against the terrorism. Although we critique the kind of political justice from some of viewpoints or opinions, Americans believe that the Guantanamo detention camp is just due to the kind of terrorist activities, and many state prisons would be called to respond with that correctional service, need of correctional service. So the state prison system is fairly extensive, even in coverage of federal crimes and others. I have provide some instruction about the finance and budget for the public sectors in the last class, and that would also be helpful to have some specifics in American legal system. We can see some more public aspect of interbranch interaction, and I have illustrated one article also by Korean scholars, Ok Dong-seung, and they critique the kind of undesired operation on neglect and procrastination through the end of term fiscal years, and could discourage the sound function of government through the beginning of new fiscal year, very seen as the kind of evil to paralyze the public function and the responsibility of government as expected by Constitution and public statute. The kind of a budget, however, is very sacred area in different concerns. It is kind of a budget process. For example, in the fraction of a strategic plan of government. So it shows strategic plan of government. And also the budget process will require to contemplate on the interest of stakeholders. So the budget authority is generally required to get the information about the public interest and kind of recommendations and also some kind of petition from interest groups or stakeholders. So they would get back to obey of the kind of a public hearing or any other process to collect the evidence about the public opinion and the interest and the kind of. So it is very to get information of public opinion, and also it is kind of a communication tool between public and the government. So the public now can have awareness how the government will function and what values and what public values and goodness have been realized or could be realized by financial plan or fiscal plan, the plan to borrow debts in pursuing public projects, kind of. For example, consider construction of infrastructure, and consider to implement expansion of social benefit. However, we would be regretful that the kind of option has long been critical, and also the social pension has generally been diminished, perhaps from various reasons, and what others. And we can see many important aspects to be interactive with the normative command kind of stuff. And we also have some ideas about the substantial aspect in terms of function of government and the permission to generate a general welfare reward. Okay? So you'll see it is one of a financial chart, and what it actually includes the kind of numeric information, how the government is devoted to what project, and kind of the expenditures and revenues to base the foundation of a governmental operation structure. And that basic idea could be infused into your mind in understanding the medical legal system And as I've said, I now deliver 2 pages of a printout to inculcate your understanding the basis of American criminal legal system. Pleased to see Goofy's original. So, in overview of criminal law, basic element now you are required to take look at is jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction? And what associated with criminal law? That is a basic point to be introduced early in the criminal class, notwithstanding civil or common law traditions. And you are advised to learn series of punishment. What is punishment for? So perhaps you will know kind of popular concept and tenets. What are those? A deterrence, a prevention. What is the ideal of retribution? Do you see it actually the entreating of humanity against a violation or the kind of a transgression? Criminal act should be punished. It is very kind of principle. And also rehabilitation is one other perspective that the modern criminal series would seriously takes into account in their understanding. The criminals is not a mere criminal who can rehabilitate, and that is one important goal, and could be